Hello, everyone. Hello. Is another moment together on Twist the Incorruptible Women series. And today we're going to be treating the topic building healthy self confidence. This is one topic that I love so much, and I'm sure our guest is super ready to join us and to speak into this topic today because I tell you, almost everybody have one issue or the other around self confidence, and I know that this is one topic we need to treat more often, in order for us to be better off. So you're welcome to November series of the Incorruptible Women series. And today I'll be having with me Aramide Balogun. And I know she's super ready to deal with this topic today. So Aramide, please introduce yourself to our audience. No, we can't hear you. You're muted. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aramide Balogun. Um, I'm so happy to be here. And like I told Morenike when she invited me, I said, I'm not the best person for this topic, but I'll go anyway. Because everybody, no matter how far you go in life, you still have, situations, scenarios where your self-confidence is shaking. I don't think anybody ever
Yes.
gets to a time where they feel like my confidence
Mm,
level is always up. Life usually happens. So I'm hoping that
mm,
through this session, um, we will be able to rub minds together and I'll be able to share my
yes.
own story and some of my suggestions on how you can build your self confidence. Thank you, Morenike.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Aramidin. And I'm already I'm already looking forward to this topic. I'm already looking forward to hear, the gist around it. And I know the audience are also ready for this topic. So we're not going to be wasting so much of time. I remember when she was telling me that when I told her the topic, she was like, we all still have one thing or the other around self-confidence. But I said that's why we should not shy away from the topic. We
Yeah.
have to talk about it. We should not shy away from the topic because whatever it is that is, there is something that we need to work on as an individual, especially for women. It's something that we have to keep talking about. But the issue we always have is that we always hide all those things. We always try to move our eyes off it. We always try to feel, oh, we are fine, we are good, we're still moving. But somehow, somewhere in ourselves, we know that we are not really where we're supposed to be or what we're supposed to do. So I'm so happy that we're going to be treating this topic today. And with me, Aramide, we're going to be just like our usual way of doing. We're going to be doing it this about 30 minutes plus or minus. You're going to be speaking to us on the topic. And I expect that everyone, if you have any question, please just drop it on the comment section because I'm going to be going through the comment section with us. So I want you to put it on the comment section so that we can treat after Aramide finish the talk. So Aramide, over to you.
Thank you, Morenike, and welcome everyone. I will do my best. I'm not the master in this topic. I believe that, Morenike actually reaching out to me to speak on this topic was God's way of helping me also build my self confidence because, of course, I had to think far and wide. I had to read,
Why?
I had to remember scenarios when my confidence level dropped and what I did to get back up. So, without much ado, I have 30 minutes. I'll try to, go through um, my presentation in 30 minutes. So, I'll start with this quote by Franklin Roosevelt. And he said, courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the assessment that something else is more important than fear.
Mm,
Let
mm,
me tell you that you will always be afraid of something. Life would always happen. If we are
mm.
Christians here, we know that the Bible
Yeah.
says, in this world you will have tribulations, but be of
Mm,
good cheer, I have overcome the world. So life
mm,
would always happen.
mm.
let me tell you my own story briefly. And one event that really destroyed my confidence level. And then I'll go into my presentation proper. So while I worked at, part of my career, I worked in KPMG, and I was a superstar. I graduated with a first class from Covenant University in 2007, and I was overall second best in the school, overall best in my own department, and second best in the whole school. And while I was at KPMG, I was doing very well in the early years, and I had an opportunity to travel abroad for a secondment opportunity. I came back from that opportunity, and my next evaluation, I I was last three. When they did the calibration, I was last three. I was first three when maybe first five when they did the ranking. And that was what allowed me to be able to go to the US.
Oh, yeah.
But when I came back, everybody was expecting that I should come back a superstar, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? My first review was woeful. Woeful, woeful, woeful. And the funny thing is, in KPMG, when you are making milestone, they always publish the names. So when you log onto your laptop on October 1, you will see all the names of the people that made manager, senior manager, and all of that. My assistant manager promotion was okay. They just like, oh, she just got back. Maybe she's still settling in and everything. Let's allow her. But I couldn't make it to manager. And that destroyed my self-esteem. I felt like a fraud. I felt like the whole world had crumbled under my feet. It was a horrible feeling. And I remember that I was so bent on proving a point. I was like, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to make manager. I'm not leaving the firm. What happens is when people don't make manager, they leave the firm because it becomes uncomfortable. Everybody knows and all that. And I remember that someone tried to pitch me, someone tried to headhunt me for a role at the time. And I kept telling him that you don't understand. I don't know what I am doing. See, I was last three. I missed manager promotion and you want to give me finance controller. Like, what are you thinking about? I don't think I can perform. And this guy spoke to me. He ended up being my boss for 3 years. He spoke so much to me. We had 3 sessions because I was just saying, you don't understand. I can't deliver. They sent me to America. I messed up when I came back. But that guy, after much ado, I decided that, okay, let me give it a try. And looking back now, that event, God made it happen for a reason. God wanted me to have a feel of failure. Failure is one of the things that makes people lose their confidence. God wanted me to have a feel of failure because if I didn't have a feel of failure, if you've never failed before, you can't really put yourself in the shoes of someone who has failed before. You will just be giving them theory solutions because you can't feel what they're feeling. But I failed, and it took me a long time to come out of it. And even after I gave me that job, I would always doubt myself. But because he believed in me, I can look back now and say, thank God for that event that happened. So, what are the things that makes people lose their self-confidence? The first thing is fear. If there are married people here, if there are mothers here, have you ever told your child, don't climb that table, don't climb that table, and the child still climbs the table, and you are there, you are afraid that, hey, this child has climbed, he will fall down, he will break his head, but the child is not afraid. He does not even think he can fall. He will just climb the table. Many of us, Different things have happened to us in life. Maybe we climbed one table, we fell, and we decided, I am never climbing a table. Table climbing is not for me. But not children. They will still go back and climb that table. Fear is one of the biggest factors that makes people lose their self-confidence. The other thing is shame. Shame. I didn't want to take that job because I was ashamed that a responsibility had been placed in my hand and I failed at it. But guess what? Some people will turn their shame around. They will use their shame as a stepping stone to where God is taking them to. Very recently, I came across a social media page where this woman had gone through a divorce and she had built a community of people that are going through divorce, and she's helping women that have gone through divorce become better people. If you know Tito Idakula, Tito had a stillborn, and that's something that in our society, if you have a stillborn, you just go and hide yourself in your house, like you won't come out. It's a shameful thing. How can you carry pregnancy for 9 months and then the baby died? But see what Tito did with something that should have been a shameful event. She turned it around. Now she has 3 children. God has blessed her, and she's able to help women that are going through the same situation. Are you telling me that out of all the women in Lagos, it's only Tito that has ever had a stillborn? I'm very sure it's not Tito alone that has had a stillborn. Some people had a stillborn and they committed suicide. They couldn't face the world. They couldn't face their community. They couldn't face their in-laws. But someone had a stillborn and she came out and she said, yes, I've been through fire. I know it burns. I know women are going through this same fire I've been through. How can I support women? You know, and look at how she's written a book out of that. She's set up a counseling business out of that. She hosts an annual event for women that are grieving loss of their babies. You know, and so many women have been liberated because someone did not cower in shame. The other thing is failure. I told you about my own failure situation and how I took I took it very personal. I didn't want to come out of it. My self-confidence was battered just because I missed a promotion. I have a friend who, you know, went through a similar situation, and it took a lot of time for her to pick up herself. And if you look at yourself as well, you can tell events that have happened in your life where your self-confidence, your self-esteem was completely battered. The other thing is societal norms. Societal norms, a very common example is a woman above 30 that is not married. They'll just tell her, you're out there. How dare you? You are not married, you're not complete. Why should you be everywhere? Go and think about your life. You are not married. Why are you up and down? Should you be the one talking about confidence? What confidence do you have? Societal issues. A woman that has not given birth, that has been married for years and has not had a baby, the society expects that, better go and focus on your childbearing. You should not be up and about. You should be focused on this problem that you have for now. Or when you now have a child, you can continue. I know women who had to quit their jobs because everybody kept saying, it's because you work too hard. It's because you work too hard. That's why you're not having a baby. You go in, you cave under that, and your self-confidence, your self-esteem becomes battered. The last one is comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy. When you constantly compare yourself with other people, guess what? I'm happy to disappoint you today. There will always be somebody better than you. There will always be somebody richer than you. There will always be somebody more beautiful than you. There will always be somebody that has a better job than you. But guess what? As much as there's somebody who has a better job, who is more beautiful, who is richer, who is who seems to have it all together, there are also people that are opposite of that. Right? So you are looking down on yourself that, see my friend, she's this, she's that. But guess what? Somebody else is looking up to you and saying, see my friend, she's this, she's that. So as you are comparing yourself to someone else and you are feeling inadequate, you are feeling not enough, somebody else is also comparing themselves to you. And they are also saying, see how far she's gone. You know, myself and Morenike were privileged to work together many years ago. And if I compare, as in, Morenike is a big woman. She gathered all of us here. You know? But in my own stride too, there are things that I'm doing that people are like, wow, you are doing amazing. So don't ever compare yourself with somebody. And I know that in this age of social media, it's very difficult not to compare yourself with someone else. As in, even if you don't want to, there are things that will just pop up and make you compare yourself. But always resist the urge to compare yourself to someone else. When you feel like someone is doing better than you, say a prayer. Say, ask God for the grace that is at work in their lives to work in your own life too. You know, look at what they are doing differently. If it's an area of their life that you admire, go and look for what they are doing differently in that area and improve yourself. So, how then do we build a healthy self-confidence? The first thing is knowing who you are. You have to know who you are. How does God see you as a person? How does God see you as a person? What kind of self-image do you have of yourself? Because that's the first place. There was a time, I was telling my husband recently that there was a time I had very bad acne, and when now I look at my pictures those days, it was not even that bad. But it impacted my self-esteem because I always felt that when people see me, they are just seeing the pimples. Guess what? They don't send you like that.
They didn't say anybody.
They don't. People have their own issues that they are dealing with. So I can be looking at you, but my mind is not there. I am in my mind. I am in Oshogbo.
Yeah.
I am thinking about my deliverable at work. I'm thinking about my father, my sibling, my this one, my that one. But because I'm looking at you, you think, see how she's looking at me, I'm uncomfortable. Why is she looking at me like that? You need to build a positive self-image. You need to deal with the root of negative self-image. If not for some of the issues we had, I have a pillow that I made. And that pillow has my picture with words of affirmation. Whenever I feel down and I look at that pillow, I remind myself of who I am. I tell myself, you are beautiful, you are God-fearing, you are smart, you are intelligent. I affirm myself. I don't wait for anybody to tell me that I'm beautiful. I look at myself in the mirror and I tell myself that, you are so beautiful. You know, sometimes there's even a picture on my WhatsApp right now that I say, fine woman. I'm not waiting for anybody to tell me that I am a fine woman. But let me tell you, there was a time that I had a very poor self-image of myself. There was a time that whenever I look at myself, I define myself by my past failures. Whenever things happen to me, I'm like, Aramide, you messed up. But if God has forgiven me, and if God still thinks I'm the apple of his eyes, if my name is engraved in the palm of his hands, then there's something about me. There's something about me that is worth celebrating, right? So to get to this point, honestly, it wasn't easy. Sometimes I see counselors. I'm not ashamed to say that. Sometimes I see therapists. When I am feeling low, I go to my Bible. I personalize. If anybody, I don't know if Morenike follows me on YouVersion, but when I see a scripture that is like maybe a scripture in Psalm, I will put my name there and I will write that scripture out
Yes.
and I will
Take
put my
notes.
name there. If it's David that is there, I'll put Aramide.
Yeah.
You can even have post-its all over your house, wherever. Just remind yourself of who you are. When you know who you are, when situations happen, you tell yourself that was an event. That's not me. That's not the real me. I made a mistake. I can get back up. I don't have to wallow in my error. The next thing is confront your fears. Do you know that before coming up here, this year, I started to put myself out there and people were trying to invite me. Before this invitation, I've had 3 invitations that I said, I don't think, I'm not feeling too well. But this one, I said, okay, fine. I just felt that the topic was so intentional and God is so mindful of us. He knows that I'm dealing with self-confidence. He knows that I've been working on it and He brought me, imperfect me, to come and speak here today. So I'm not speaking as my self-confidence is, 100%. I'm speaking as somebody like you who is also learning on the job, who is also trying to improve myself to get better. This is what I'm doing today. I am confronting my fears. Guess what? I could have shied away from coming here. Morenike would have found somebody else and they would have delivered. They would have blessed someone. People would have, gained a lot of things. But that won't help my self-confidence, right? But by coming here and doing this and knowing that I can do this, next time somebody invites me, guess what? I will say, sure, I've done it before. And it was not as bad as I thought it would be. So I can do it again. And this little, when you confront your fears, when you start small, it helps you to build muscle. You build muscle to do bigger things, right? If somebody says, come here, I don't know how many people are listening to this live, even if it's 5 people, 10 people, and you were able to do it. And next time somebody invites you to 50 people, you're like, I did live, I can do this again. And you go. Before you know, you are talking to a crowd of 100. Before you know, you are talking to a crowd of 250. Abi Morenike, I see you having TED Talks, I see you doing amazing things. And I'm sure that you didn't start that way. You started small and gradually you built your muscle. You built your muscle. So if there's something that you are terrified about, confront that thing. If it's public speaking, start with your office. When they say they want to do Christmas parties, say I want to be the anchor. Guess what? You might be the anchor for the first year and you may not do well. Let me not lie to you. There could be glitches. But after you do it and you see that I did this thing, okay, it went bad. Some people will tell you, don't worry, I think you gave it your best shot, you did amazing. Next time, just work on this, work on this, work on this, work on it. The next time, your church, they say, come and talk to teenagers. You say, I can do it. You volunteer. Teenagers, they don't know anything. You can't make errors there. Nobody will call you out. Whatever you say, they will accept. And gradually, you start building yourself and you start improving. One thing I always ask myself now is, what's the worst that can happen? And honestly, if that worst is not death, I will dare it. I will do it. As in, tí kò bá ní mú ayé mi lọ. Sorry for speaking the word, but if it's not going to take my life away, I'm going to do it. Right? Because only 2 things can happen. It's either I do it well or I don't do it well and I improve and I get better. Those are the 2 options. The third thing is remember your past accomplishments. A lot of times we trivialize our past accomplishments, right? Now, when I feel like I can't do something, I'm like, Aramide, you graduated best graduating students. I mean, you know, how can you say you can't? I talk to myself. How can you say you can't do it? Your past accomplishment is your resume. When you go and apply for a job, your you use your past accomplishments. That's what you go and discuss in the interview when you are requesting a new job, and that's what they hear and take a chance, take a bet on you to give you a new job, right? You've not done that new job before, but when you tell them, oh, at my previous place of work, I did this and that, blah blah blah, they will say, oh, fine, okay, we think you can deliver in this role, and they will give you. Remember David, when David wanted to kill Goliath, one of the things David said was, me, I killed a bear. Me, I did this. That was not a human being, but he remembered his past accomplishments, and that reminded him of his abilities. If I can kill a bear, only me. Who are you, Goliath? With God's help and with the skills I've built, I'm definitely sure I can bring you down, Goliath. By doing the small things, by remembering your past accomplishments, you are building a stronger muscle to accomplish bigger things. I know that we are very conservative people, but one thing I'm learning is to accept compliments for my accomplishments. When someone says, Aramide, you did great, I don't say, me, ke. It's not possible. Are you deceiving me? I know I didn't do well. Tell me. I say thank you, and I say, what do you think I can improve in case of next time? When they tell me, I take that in as a feedback and I work on it. And I know that you can also do the same. The next thing is you would encounter failure. We already established that. Life will always happen. Life must happen. Failure is inevitable. And as you hone your skills, as you take on your opportunities, you may encounter failure. But don't beat yourself too hard. Sometimes we are too critical of ourselves when we fail. Instead of being critical, let's reflect. What could I have done better? What could I have learned? What can I learn from this event? Be kind and compassionate to yourself. We are all on a journey. Everybody, you, I, we are all on a journey. Right? Look at, so now I am speaking to you. I can't be as eloquent as Ibukwan Shika.
Absolutely.
So Shika, I can aspire to be like her. But by this first presentation, I may not be able to match. So I'll now beat up myself and say, look at Ibukwan. See how eloquent. Do you know when Ibukwan Shika started speaking? Do you know how many stumbles she's had on her way? Because she doesn't show you on social media. In fact, there was one that happened recently. If you are very conversant with the news, you will know that Mrs. Awoshika was sacked from the board of First Bank. And if that was me, maybe I'll just do this on social media and say I'm taking time off for now. Let me bury my head in the sand. But she kept moving. She came out with a statement on her social media channels, and she kept moving.
Like nothing happened.
Like nothing happened. But you don't know what she's going through in the background. But she kept at it. And look at all the things she's accomplished even after that. So you may not get it right the first time, but as you continue to develop yourself, you gain mastery at it. The next thing is surround yourself with the right kind of people. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Who is in your circle? I'm very big on circles because you cannot grow beyond the people you surround yourself with, the books you read, the people you surround. Do they motivate you? Do they have an impact on you? Today, the world is a global village, so you don't even have to do much. There are books, there are podcasts. I still listen to podcasts on people's skills. I go to LinkedIn and I add, leadership skills. I take courses. I take Coursera courses. You need to surround yourself with the right kind of people, the right kind of influence. Social media. Is your social media only to follow Lover or Insta blog? Who are you following that is having an impact on your life? Or you're only following comedians? Or you're only following slay mamas? Who are you following? Those people, let me tell you, there are small deposits that are being made in your life.
Yes.
Small deposits that are being made in your life. Who are you following? Today, go and look at your social media again. Unfollow people that are not adding value to your life. Unfollow people that are not leading you to the place that you want to be. And follow the people that will follow no road. Follow the people that can get you to where you want to be. Right? We'll take questions. Let me just quickly go. I have 2 more points and we'll be done. The next one is build confidence habits. Positive self-talk. Don't talk down on yourself. Don't say, nonsense, you messed up. You're such a failure. Don't say that to yourself. Say positive things to yourself. Affirm positive things in your life. Dress well. Show up well. When they say, as you dress is the way you'll be addressed. When you dress well, there's a level of confidence that comes on you. When you wear heels, there's a kind of confidence. You're walking on self. They will know that, this person, dress well. I don't mean expensive, but be well put together. Show up. Bring your best self. When Morenike told me that I was going to have this talk, you know what I did? I bought ring lights. I've never owned one.
Wow.
I bought mic. This mic, they just delivered it to me on Thursday.
Wow.
Morenike is my colleague, but I said it's a privilege for her to have me on a community she has built. I'm not going to take it for granted and just show up. I did my makeup. I wore nice earrings. I dressed like I'm going to the office. I brought my best self. I brought my A game. I did not say, is it not Morenike? She will understand now. Today is Saturday. Where am I going to that? Wear makeup? I didn't show up anyhow. Sometimes, what causes us not to have, we show up lackadaisical. You've been praying for an opportunity. That opportunity now comes up. Then just show up anyhow. You are not prepared. I did slides. Right now, I have two screens and my laptop and my phone.
Wow.
My slide is on one screen. I'm looking at my phone. I'm watching my own self on the other screen. I practiced. I did PowerPoints. I did not say, I will go there now. I'm going to say something. There's no way I won't have something to say. I read. I sat down, spent hours coming up with a slide. I went through my slide. I rehearsed. I rehearsed with my husband. I didn't just show up here like, I will just do it now. What's there? It's not live. This is my first opportunity. And I want her to be able to say, Aramide did well. I can recommend her. And that way, my self-confidence will continue to improve. Show up with enthusiasm. Show up with excitement. Bring in energy. Don't just come and just, it's Nigeria safe. They've taken our lights.
Right.
Things are hard. All those things. Don't just, I think we take a lot of things for, don't just come with your best self. Let them even say, she tried though. No. You can't say she didn't prepare. Maybe something happened.
Yes.
Bring your best self. Be open to learning and self-development. When someone tells you, sometimes I record myself when I'm having meetings with my manager or I'm doing sessions at work. My phone will be there. I'll be recording myself. After the event, I'll go and listen. All this and say I'll now start being mindful. You can't be saying you know, you have to why did you stutter there? Why can't you, what can you do better? Be open to learning and self-development. Don't say haters, any small thing, haters. They don't cuckoo, they are just hating on me. We are so big on haters. How about you turn that into self-development? It's not all feedback that you should listen to, but the one that can make you improve. Focus on that one. Leave haters.
Proof.
Let haters be doing their thing. Leave them. The final one, stop comparing yourself with others.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know number what session it is that Morenike is doing today, but it will be unfair for you people to compare me to her because she has been doing this for long. Me, I'm just a newbie. Your journey is unique and your story is in your journey. There's a reason why you are going through what you are going through. You can't compare your chapter 1 with somebody else's chapter 10. Could make sense.
Absolutely. It makes sense, Rara.
It doesn't make sense.
Correct.
You can't compare. When you notice that you are drawing comparison, remind yourself that I don't know what chapter this person is on. Me, I'm on my chapter. Let me focus on my chapter.
Yeah.
I have a friend. She's very popular. You might know her, Kemi Onobanjo Joseph. I learn a lot from her. I join her sessions actually. And in many ways, she inspires me to be a better person. I don't compare myself with her.
Yeah.
There are so many people that will be better than you. There are so many people that you'll be better than. Researchers found out that people who compare themselves to others experience envy. And the more envy they experience, the worse they felt about themselves. When you compare yourself to someone else, you always feel like you are not enough. There's something wrong with your life. My life is inadequate. I'm not doing well. But you don't know that person's story. Everybody's running their own race, and life isn't a competition. Your journey is different. Imagine if all of us, our stories were the same. Then there will be no spice to life.
Yeah.
Then it will be boring, actually. It will be boring. So, on a final note, I'm going to read these quotes. I've been reading this book by Brené Brown. She's somebody who is very big on vulnerability, shame, self-confidence, and she's very authentic. There's this quote that she loves to quote in almost all her books. It's a quote called "The Man in the Arena" by Theodore Roosevelt, and it goes thus: "It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievements, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. There is a lot of benefit in trying. Stop self-sabotaging yourself. And I'm talking to myself as well. There's nothing difficult that you cannot do. You are able, the Bible says, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So let's go out there and be the light that the world needs. Let's shine our light. Look at what is happening in the world today. Unbelievers come out, they come out and they do things, and they are shining. And some of us we are there in fear. What if they don't accept me? What if people say? What will people say? Please, let's go out and be shining lights. Tell
Yeah.
yourself that there is nothing difficult for you. You have the mind of Christ.
Mm,
You are a child of God.
mm.
I'm rooting for you, and I hope to see us all at the top. Thank you.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That's a powerful delivery, Aramide. I'm so excited with it. And I can see the way people are reacting, to your discussion. It all shows that everybody is following and they are picking one thing or the other. And overall, I love the assumption when you mentioned that we should build confidence habits. You make some specific samples. This confidence habit, that means it's not something that we have to be on a day, just like you mentioned. You cannot just wake up one day, Abby, and become high flyer. It's something
Yeah.
you build over time. It's something that but you have to do something for you to get there. And I think that's the one thing that speak out for me, because a lot of people believe that, if I keep practicing, if I keep showing up is one thing. You said show up with your best, per time. So it's something that you deliberately, put yourself into. You want to build this confidence thing. And this is the habits that you can use to build it. And intentionally, you're bringing yourself out, not
Yes.
hiding yourself behind, and say, no, not everybody will be up there, not everybody will be, not everybody will get up, not everybody will be a speaker, not everybody will be this. But if you're asking yourself, this same question, you're willing to be that. But somehow, because you don't want to show off, or you don't want to show yourself forth, you're saying, no, it's not everybody, and you're giving yourself a lot of excuses instead of, building on it, building. And you mentioned, say the word of positive thing to yourself, dress well. There are sometimes that you intentionally do something, not because of that moment, but because
Yes.
of future. This
Yeah.
video we are having, this call that we are having, this session, we're calling this series now. I could wake up one day, I was telling people that one day we're going to package into video and sell to women,
Mm.
that they will listen to you one day. And that means it's not just about now. The whole process may not be now. When we're doing the editing, may not even be this year, it may not be next year, it may be sometime in future. But somebody will come back to this video and they can say they pick something. I hear
Yeah.
a lot of people saying here that they're learning something, they're learning something. So if you're joining us late, I'd love you to go back and do a replay. You find the replay on the group, on the YouTube. Please go back and do the replay so that you can capture every of the words. These are massive things. A lot of women are dealing with confidence issue. We all are growing in it. But one thing that single you out is if you deliberately, intentionally say, this is who I want to be. And even if there's a story they've written about you, you can decide to rewrite that story. You can choose to rewrite that story. We've all been
Yes.
there one day. I remember even in KPMG, there was a time they wanted to have one session. I can't remember this. Is it monthly? And I can't meeting or something that people will come out to speak. They just introduce people speaking on a topic at that period. And I felt in me it's something I wanted to do. I said I want to do as well. Nobody asked me. Gradually,
Mm.
I presented myself. But somehow, before the day, I could not prepare because of the workload. A day before, I knew I wasn't prepared like that. But because everybody already know I'm going to do, I said I wanted to do. I messed up. Like, I messed up. When I was preparing, when I was presenting, I thought, oh, I could manage. But I realized that I didn't prepare as much as I'm supposed to. And I really messed up. But one thing, even though people were telling me, some people were saying, well, very okay. I love one person that, critically analyzed what happened on that day because I could not see myself. There was no video. I could only listen to what people say. Even though something I say,
Yeah.
"Ah, it's fine, it's okay." I could see one person that could tell me how it all went. And I click on that. That could have made me felt I won't do anything again in life. It could have shut me up because this is a
Mm.
platform. Everybody you want to look very high fly and all, and you now went there and you messed up. You want to, just like she mentioned, you will feel good because this is a platform you want somebody to say, "I recommend." I said you have done well. This is a platform everybody is looking forward to. And on that same platform, you mess up. But thank God I messed up on that kind of platform, because I was able to go back and say, what did I do wrong? So even if I did not have the opportunity before I left to be on that same platform again, I can't mess up again because I've learned from it. So all
Yeah.
I told myself is intentionally, I'm going to still deliver. I'm going to still affect, impact life. Because I could have said I'm not impacting anybody. Let me just be impacting people around me. I don't have to impact. Nobody has to hear my voice like that. And people around me will still benefit, and I feel I'm fulfilled. But because there is a calling, I wouldn't say because of that situation that happened in the past, I want to close my eyes off the calling. There are different. All I will have to do is, how do I get better? What can I do
Yeah.
to get better? What can I do to be best? I'm not saying even now that I'm the best, but somehow I'm not the same person as last year. I'm not the same person as 2 years ago. Something has shifted. And that's the whole point. You need to keep, appearing well, intentionally presenting yourself, preparation, prepare well. That's the whole of it. Prepare well. And
Yeah.
somebody was asking while we're going on that, if you could recommend a good podcast channel. Is there anyone you can recommend now, Haramide?
Um, I started listening to uh, Brené Brown. She's very good with vulnerability. If you just type in Brené Brown on your podcast, you
Can
would
you please spell that?
Brené, Brene Brown.
Okay. All right. So everybody, we can pick that. Okay.
Yes, Brené Brown. There's
Right.
also I can't really remember them now. I'll need to just go to my podcast channel. I
Okay.
have
Okay.
different
So
podcasts that I
anytime,
listen to.
anytime,
I
anytime,
can come
anytime.
back to you
So
on
if
that.
you are not on the WhatsApp group, yeah, if you are not on the WhatsApp group, please, you have to present yourself on the WhatsApp group, because I'll get this from her and I'm going to be posting it on the WhatsApp group so that every one of us can see. I'll put the link later on the group so that some of us that are not yet there, we can always join. Okay. All right. So another question I have is this, Aramide. So is it okay to say that it is better for us to prepare ahead? Preparing ahead will fix some of the issues of life. Let me try and expatiate on that. There's a lot of time, like you mentioned, one of the reasons that could make somebody to lose self-confidence is where you are shying away from failure.
Yeah.
You don't want to fail. And when some people face some life challenges, it's also hard, especially people that believe they must come out all flying high.
Yeah.
It also hard that we want to go back to our shell. Some people even have depression due to that. A huge number of people do that. So would it be okay to say it is better to prepare that, I think you've mentioned it, that life will happen,
Yeah.
that we can feel? Because what we hear everybody saying is that you can do it, move, go out, just do it, just do it. Nobody tells anybody that there are risks in this thing that you want to do.
Yes.
There are some risk in it and all. Yeah. So just talk around this so that we can hear our audience grab this part very well, because I know most of the thing that make people to lose confidence, even those that build the confidence to lose confidence, is what they don't expect before happen, and then
Yeah.
it hits them. So please expatiate a bit more on that to our audience.
I wish I could tell you that you can fully prepare for life's challenges.
Mm,
You can only prepare for the challenge that you know will come, right? So, like promotion at work, that's a challenge. You
yeah.
can prepare for that. You know what to
Mm,
do. But there could be life challenges that you will have no idea. I'll tell you an
mm,
example. There was a time I started business and I was like, I'm an accountant, I know numbers. I did my maths, everything. I was just like,
mm.
there's no way the business will boom, it will sell out. Guys, I still have the hair in my store. The business did not go anything like I planned. But you know what I did? I chose to see the glass as half empty, as half full, rather than half empty.
Mm.
So that
FMC.
was not an event that I saw, right? But
Mm.
how did I turn it around for my good? I learned
Mm.
now, if I'm going into another business, I know what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
I know that
To
it's not
do.
just
Yeah.
about having a nice product. I know that there's some
Mm-hmm.
homework that I need to do. But
To
guess
do.
what?
Absolutely.
I have read that in books, attended seminar, everything, blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
But until it happened, in fact,
Mm.
as an accountant, you do case study now in ICANN exam
Yeah. Mm.
about a
Yes.
business that is failing. SEMA, you do case study.
Mm.
It's easy to be writing and
Mm.
be advising until it
Mm.
happens to you.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
To you.
but I thought I had everything together. So
Mm.
I cannot guarantee you that every challenge that will happen, you will have an idea before they happen.
Mm. Mm.
That's life. Life is an
Yeah.
exam that we don't have the opportunity to prepare for, but the
Prepare for.
values that
Mm.
we've picked up along the way.
Mm.
So
Mm.
if I have another failure event, maybe I miss my promotion, the way I will
Yeah.
react will be different from the
Mm.
way I reacted the first time it happened to me because
Course.
I've been there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there could
Experience.
be another challenge that I am new to. But if I
Yeah.
leverage the experience of a past failure and I say this
Mm.
failure is an event, it's just an
Mm.
event, it should not
Mm.
define me, then I can react more
Mm.
positively to the failure
Yeah.
situation, right? So I
Mm.
don't know that you can prepare 100% for life's challenges, but of course, as Christians, knowing that one of my anchor scriptures is in this life, you will have
Mm.
tribulations, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. So no matter the challenge
Mm.
I'm going through, I remind myself that Jesus has overcome the world.
Come.
And he
Yeah.
already told me in advance there will be challenges.
Mm.
So
Mm.
knowing that impacts on the way I respond to the
Mm.
challenges.
Really is. Wow.
So
That's
that's
awesome. That's
what I have to say on that.
yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's just summarize everything that you cannot be as prepared for an event, but prepare your mind that life would happen.
Yes.
Because if you don't prepare your mind that life could happen, when life eventually happens, then you find yourself at the bottom line. So I love how Madam Hugo said, he said, but we must all prepare and expect the unexpected. So you cannot prepare for a particular issues of life, but you
Yeah.
can
You
prepare
can't
for the
prepare for
unexpected.
everything.
But you can prepare for the unexpected, and
Yes.
that's the one thing I want us to go. Because if we don't prepare for the unexpected, when eventually happen, that's what also push us to start comparing ourselves. Like, why is it me? Why would I have to do it that way? Why would I have to be the one that is still like, if it were to be somebody else, it wouldn't have happened like this. That's where we start the comparison. And before you know it, you see every other person like competitor. You see them like they are running they are running after you, like you instead of you to build yourself, to develop
Focus on
yourself,
your
you'll be
focus.
running after what they are achieving, what they are making out of life. That's all you'll be doing. In fact, every of your life will be trying to picture them. Thank you, Aramide. That was an awesome submission, and I think there is no other question I've seen so far. This is a well delivered section, and I really also always love to have this section not more than an hour, and we're almost there. So,
Yeah.
everyone, if you have any other question, please drop it while I try to acknowledge a few of us. I won't be able to say all of us anyway. Madam Ugo, thank you for joining. Blessing Adekoya, thank you for joining in. Yes, Bumi Onobanjo, thank you for joining in. I won't be able to mention all our name because section is already going, because I cannot see everybody's name, right? Let me see from here. if I can pick a few other okay. Adelani Bumi Lydia, thank you, ma, for joining. Balogun Olubukola, thank you. Okoyomi Shobusi, thank you for joining in. If I'm not Adenike Akiobo, she keeps saying that this is an awesome session, that she's learning a lot from this session. So Aramide, thank you very much. All right,
Thank you.
so where else? Okoyomi Shobusi, I think I've mentioned. Thank you, everyone. If I'm unable to mention your name, know that I acknowledge everyone that joined. And of course, for those that will be checking the replay, because today is Saturday and it's running to the end of the year, a lot of people would have one function or the other, but I know they're going to catch up on this replay later. Okay, somebody is asking one question. Let me quickly pick that before Aramide will say passing words. Okay, she said, I want to ask if at any point one wasn't able to withstand the unexpected failure. Okay, the question is not complete, Madam Ube. If at any point one wasn't able to withstand the unexpected failure, what would be your advice to the person? So that means the unexpected failure is so huge.
Yeah.
It's so
I
huge. It's so huge.
I
What
don't
would be the
know,
advice?
but recently I was listening to Chude. I don't know if you know Chude. He has this podcast and he talks to people
Hmm.
about their low seasons. And Princess, a comedian, she came
Hmm.
to talk about her low season. And her low season was getting married, and the marriage scattered within 3 months or 2 weeks or something like
Hmm.
that. Very ridiculous.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
Princess said, in one of the clips that Chude put on his social media, Princess said that she practically broke down when her marriage ended because she thought that was the end of her life.
Hmm.
Like, it was so publicized, it was all over the news, and she called Funke
Yeah.
Akindele. And it was around the same time Funke Akindele's first marriage also broke. And she called Funke
Hmm.
Akindele, and Funke Akindele told her, I'm in Enugu, I'm shooting a movie. Come and meet me there. Princess, your life is not over. You need to pick up
Hmm.
yourself. Unknown to Princess, Funke Akindele's
Yeah.
being in Enugu was a way of her surmounting the challenges she was going
Wow.
through at that time.
Wow.
Because her own
Challenge.
marriage too just broke.
Wow.
Right? I
Hmm.
think nobody is
Hmm.
going to come and save you. And your
Hmm.
life is your
Oh.
life. I pray that we'll
Yeah.
always have the strength to pick ourselves back up again.
Yeah.
I think at
Hmm.
least knowing that you can pick yourself back up again is a testimony, and it's something that we should always have at the back of our minds. There was also a story I
Hmm.
saw on social media, and this woman, she was trying to have a baby, and somehow she did a surgery, and they removed her womb. And on social
Hmm.
media, she was advocating. She's in Germany or one country. She's not in Nigeria. She was advocating that people should sue the hospital. How can she have children? They removed her womb. They didn't tell her they were going to remove her womb.
Hmm.
Blah blah blah. Guess what? I think I saw that story last year. This year, that woman has a baby, and she had a baby through a
Oh.
surrogate.
Wow.
And she
Wow.
has now used her page. So how, I don't know what I would do, God forbid, if something like that happened to me.
Hmm.
So I'm not even saying I'm
Hmm.
perfect. But just
Hmm.
seeing those kind of people that
Hmm.
despite that,
Hmm.
and she's now
Hmm.
using that to educate, that whole event,
That's.
to educate
Hmm.
women that even if
Hmm.
you have gotten to a point where a doctor has told you that you can never have a baby, you don't have to kill yourself. It's not the end of the world. This thing happened to me, and today I have a child. I used a surrogate mother to have my baby.
Hmm.
You too can do
Hmm.
it. So look at how she
Hmm.
turned a
Hmm.
seemingly difficult situation
Hmm.
into
Hmm.
a motivational story to encourage
Hmm.
women
Yeah.
in her own in
Hmm.
a situation she had found herself in.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
knowing that failure is an event, It's just an event.
Yeah.
Owambe, you
Event.
go, you
Wow.
eat rice, you come back,
Mm,
that's it.
mm,
Knowing that
mm,
failure is
mm,
an
mm,
event and it's not a destination,
mm.
that I failed
Yeah.
yesterday
Mm,
does not
mm,
mean that I'm a failure. It's just an event.
mm,
I can cl-
mm,
I can start again. I can rebuild again.
mm,
But if you wallow in
mm,
depression and
mm.
nobody's going to come and save you, that's just what I have
Yeah.
to say. Nobody's going to come and save
Yeah.
you. You need
Mm,
to. I pray that
mm.
God will always give us the strength. There's one prayer I
Strength.
pray that
Mm.
in the day of battle, my strength will not fail, my faith will not fail.
Oh. Mm,
That when I find
mm,
myself
mm,
in those situations, my faith will not fail.
mm.
And I'll remember that
Yo.
failure is an event,
Mm,
it's not a destination. That I
mm,
failed today does
mm.
not mean I'm a failure. It's just one event.
Yeah.
I can get up
Thanks.
from it and I
Mm.
can still be a success. In fact,
Wow.
you know, I like this kind of stories of
Mm.
grass to grace because it helps me
Grace.
realize
Mm.
that we are humans and this life we're living is so
Mm.
unpredictable. Like,
Yeah.
I think I saw, was it on your social media or it was
Mm.
on LinkedIn, that a guy said he
Mm.
had all F's and today is a graduate.
Mm.
I mean,
Mm.
he had all F's. In fact, I had a friend in secondary school that she failed WAEC. She had to resit her WAEC.
Yeah.
Today, my friend is
Mm.
the head of music in YouTube for
Wow.
sub-Saharan Africa.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
She
Wow.
had to retake WAEC. Me, I didn't have to retake WAEC. Where am I?
What?
I'm not comparing myself to her, but
Wow.
you
Of
can take a
course.
failure event and turn it around. Please, ladies,
Mm.
let's not
Yeah.
allow the enemy keep us in that pit of failure. We
Mm.
are not failures because
Yeah.
we failed in one event or because one aspect or area of our
Mm.
life is not going as planned.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Aramide. That was an awesome response. In fact, that's almost like a new section, and I love that part. Thank you so much. I think everyone has been able to get. Yeah, somebody said I'm turning my failure event
Even me,
around.
I'm
Yes,
turning
you
my
are.
failure event around.
I'm turning it around. I mean, you are the perfect person for this section. I don't know. Maybe this topic would have been shared well if you went to go and pick somebody that maybe have been having it all around rosy,
Mm,
and they will be coming here to declare to us, the perfect, the perfect, the perfect. Everybody has it. So thank you so much. You are the perfect person for this session. I'm so happy. How God works sometimes we cannot define, but I'm happy
yeah,
that we're able to do this together. I so much love this session. I'm having these goosebumps all over me now. That this is just a perfect session. Yes, somebody else saying I'm turning my failure around. We are all turning our
amen,
failures around by God's grace.
amen,
And by God's
amen.
grace, whatever it is that we are all facing at this moment, is going to be a beautiful story. I recently told somebody that is facing currently a challenge. I just met him and people is taking up the person to help him get back on feet. So I told him, this is your story. It may look very, very, you know, unbearable at this moment, but I'm going to call you one day to come and share with other youth about this your story. But at that time, it's going to be a beautiful story because you're going to be telling us how you were able to pass through this. So hold on, let us walk this path together because I'm going to call you on the platform for you to come and speak about your story. And that is it. That people have issues is not it. But one other thing is let's also be one of the reasons why people want to live life again as individual. Let's be that one reason somebody will want to live life again.
Yes,
There's everybody here face challenge. Some people that are smiling to you actually facing one challenge or the other. You don't know what they are facing. So be one reason why somebody confidence will come back up. Why somebody will feel they want to do it again. Even when you want to correct someone, correct in love, so that
Amen.
the person can be a better person and our environment will be a better, society in the
Amen.
nearest future. Thank you,
Amen.
Aramide. Just say your parting word and we can close on this session.
Thank you, Morenike, for that final note. I think um, we are not made to walk alone. Seek help if you are going through a rough patch. I told you, I've seen counselors, and sometime this year, I was actually seeing a therapist, and it was a paid session because we're not meant to do life
Mm,
alone, and life happens. If I had my own low
mm,
season and I didn't know how to navigate it,
mm,
and I went to somebody
mm,
who was experienced. This is their 9 to 5. This is their calling. This is me. I
mm,
need help. I'm going through a rough patch.
mm,
How can you help me
yeah,
navigate this? How can I
mm,
come out of it?
mm,
Because
mm,
words of encouragement were not doing it for me. So don't do life
yeah,
alone. You are
yeah,
here, you are in this session. Don't do life alone. And let's be kind to one another. Let's be kind to
yeah,
one another.
mm,
Life is
mm,
difficult. Life can be difficult. It's not something I
yeah,
shy away from, or it's not, I don't
yeah,
lie about it, that life can be
mm,
difficult and we are not made to walk alone. God bless you for joining this session, and thank you so much, Morenike, for inviting me. I had an amazing time. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you also. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining November, the Incorruptible Women series. Until we'll meet next time, please be good. Try to continue to build that self-confidence habit. Try to continue to be somebody's, right hand person that they will always want to call on to. Be good to whoever you find on your way. And I hope we'll all be better off in the near future. I want to see you
Amen.
keep going up. I want to see you keep impacting. I want to see you keep being yourself. Thank you till we meet next month. God bless you. Bye.
Bye bye.